I was thinking of opening with a bit. I was gonna say a certain bit, but honestly, I didn't have any in mind. Um, but then I realized it's like I've talked a lot recently because they changed the mobile app stuff for Twitch, which is what I basically use as a second monitor while I'm streaming, and water. Um, and like you can't see little alerts, but like channel alerts and everything, but you can by default see how many people are watching you, and I like the opposite. I don't like current view count. I do like seeing when people redeem points and stuff. So yeah, I have notes. I have notes and criticisms, but I don't think Twitch listens to me. If they did, they would have given me like Gamer Girl years ago. That was a bad joke. I'm sorry. More water. Oh my goodness. It is art day. I love me an art day. I love doing me some art. It's very good for my soul. Art. I was gonna say, is art good for the soul? It's hard to think of a reason why someone might be like, no, art is bad for you. That sounds like a dystopian future kind of thing from a bad young adult novel. Speaking of though, I'm working on a bad young adult novel. No, not quite that. Not that, it doesn't quite fit that description. I do want it to kind of be a book, but I mean, in its most basic current form, it's probably just going to be a collection of art I do of character. And we're starting it off by, what was I thinking of? By doing a cover that is inspired by the European box art of the first few Mega Man games. Because everyone knows the bad American box art, but I really like the European box art they had at the beginning. I think they looked good. I remember I was looking it up for reference as I kind of set up this little digital workspace a while ago. Oh my. Ginger! Bad! Bad girl. No. Oh my goodness. Really went to shit for a minute. Just losing microphone and what have you. Goodness. Sorry about that. Like I said, not impromptu, but mobile streaming setup. Not perfect. Just it functions kind of. A little bit. So, that's kind of all we need right now, but I'd like less kerfuffins in the future. I love finding funny words to call negative experiences. Oh my goodness. Dog I am dog sitting. I believe wants to go outside. right now, but I have let them outside to use bathroom, and I would not like to leave them outside during the nighttime. Whether or not I'm streaming, almost irrelevant, honestly. Like, that's not even a part of it right now. What? Are you okay? Are you okay? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I know, you need affection. I've given you affection throughout the day. I've given you treats and pets and everything. Okay? Go lay down. You were laying down when I got home. Go lay down now, okay? You got dinner. You went outside. Okay? Go lay down. Go lay down. Okay? Good girl. Go lay down. I know you went to the bathroom, so you can go lay down, okay? Okay. I'm trying here with the pup sitting. But, again, regardless of if I brought stream and everything or not, I still probably would want her outside during the night times. Heck, even if I was sitting on the porch right here, I'd be very nervous about her out there because you can't see well from, like, you know, the inside of the house into the night times. Big yard. So it becomes incredibly hard to see with low light environment. Yeah, let's bring that up more. Actually, oh. Oh. I'm just trying to reorganize my sketch. And I continue to be a kerfuffle. Lord. Wasn't it last night I was talking about, like, people saying busy shifts make work, like, you know, go by faster? And I was like, no, in my job, I almost feel like it's more like pulling teeth. That was an accurate description of tonight, honestly. It slowed down, but towards the start, goodness, some rough experiences. So, but yeah, I feel like I should just be forthwith with the information and say I was inspired by Super Eye Patchwolf's latest video, which was about people making fake video games. Not even like, you know, video games you can play but are in some way a parody or something like that, or have some kind of trick to them. No, just as in people making stuff about a video game and or renderings of a video game that does not exist and is not playable, period. And I got really inspired by that, especially if you watch like the ending of it where he's like, I don't really even know why I made this video, but I think this stuff is really cool, which is why. And if you want to make a fake video game, you should. And I was like, you know what, maybe I should. I was trying to think, I was like, I have ideas that would honestly probably fit this this kind of concept, but what would the best be? And then I remembered I have this one character, Fossil Boy, which I was doing comic strips for a bit with, and people really liked him. I was like, actually, he'd probably fit pretty well, just the environment and everything I've made for him, among other things. And a lot of his inspirations, a lot of the characters and media that inspired him are either connected to video games or are just video games unto themselves. Heck, I just said Mega Man. I think it's kind of funny. I don't know if you can have a direct lineage kind of thing with my other characters, with the Wallop brothers, because they are by their nature kind of a mesh of a lot of different cartoons from throughout the ages, from the golden age of cartooning and what have you. Hiya, Paula. So I don't know if there's one kind of singular parentage you can track them to, but even if the entirety of Fossil Boy as a story isn't very Mega Man, him being Little Robot Boy kind of links him to Mega Man in a direct way, which in turn, Mega Man is linked to Astro Boy in a direct way. So who knows, maybe if he is successful, next line in lineage. But yeah, a lot of my friends really like this character in particular I've made, which might in part just be because I typically draw him as a very little cute guy. This is not how I typically draw him, and will not be drawing him again like this, more than likely. What I'm doing right now is drawing him based on this cover particularly, the European cover of Mega Man 1, which I think is a legitimately amazing picture. Especially when, as I was looking up different NES covers, like so many of them were typically like paint overs, like traces of other images that were easily found, you know, usually like movies and what have you. And I also really like the Mega Man 2 cover. I will say though, like this was pointed out to me recently. I had never noticed that before. It was never kind of on my radar, but I realized it and I was like, oh, that's bad. I think it's meant to be one of, there's like a living platform kind of dude in Mega Man 2. I think that's supposed to be. Doesn't make it any less bad. Any less of a just fucking terrifying face in the middle of some art. But you know, it is what it is. Also, I hope you've had a good day, Paula. My day was pretty good, all things considered. You know, I'm not gonna say it was bad. Like I said, I had some rough calls at work, but that'll happen some days. Honestly, with a job like mine, as long as it's not just a constant slew of things, then like I'm able to catch my breath and kind of like, you know, calm down about what's ever happened. But the more a job like that in particular is like, no, keep going forever and always throughout your entire shift, then I'll probably come home in a pretty sour mood. So, you know, I've seen a good amount of people recently. I mean, this was a conversation for a while, talking about, like, you know, making stuff online as a living, and how, I mean, plenty of them are just like, I'd like to stop. Like, you know, I mean, it came about because Matt Pat retired, yada, yada, yada. And I mean, I'm not qualified to speak on that. I haven't necessarily had booming success on the internet, so for me to be like, let me give my 2 cents would be foolish. But at the same time, what I can say is that it hasn't really deterred me from trying to pursue that as a thing, because I don't know, I get as you scale it up, it would probably be pretty stressful, but I enjoy it so thoroughly currently that I don't know, it's really hard for other people who have done it for so long being like, I'm tired of it, to deter me from doing it. Because at the end of the day, I just end up being like, well, let me give it a go. It would be foolish of me to assume I could step up for a good amount of the people I'm talking about who have found pretty big success by being some cool folks online for years at this point. But I don't know, I can try. There's no shame in trying, except in the shame of when you inevitably fail and the whole world laughs at you. Bring out a parrot, you got it. Huh? No, that's the wrong thing. See, the problem with my parrot bomb command is that I have it labeled parrot bomb. So I immediately go there to bring out the parrots, but that would bring out all of them. The singular parrots are under a different folder, so. So I hope you're doing well, Kingfisher. Like I said, I hope everyone's had a good day. I'm kind of working in some cramped conditions right now. You know what? Let me see if I can move this. That would probably help. Carefully. So many wires does the Cahill have? Oh wait. Oh wait, I have to move furniture. Ah, everyone. Hold on. Okay, let me see if I can. Okay. Ooh. Are we still here? Are we together? We'll Tavion World of Warcraft. I will do it this once. But if it's a bad thing, then I'm not gonna be happy. World of Warcraft. Tyvan. Oh, it's the opposite of a bad thing. It's a very good boy. Oh, I like him. I mean, it seems like it'll be worth it, Kingfisher. He's a good boy. So. It's really hard to blame you for going after that. When it seems to be a massive dog. That was another thing I was talking about last night, where it's like some people, when I'm saying big dog, like they're all just like, you mean the ones that kill bears? And it's like, no, obviously not. Big is relativistic, relative, no matter what size they are. So I'm kind of using a sliding scale with you know, with a certain height of dog, which I went on to talk about being kind of the beginning of the upper threshold. Kind of gave a relative human-based measurement system there. You know, speaking of the grind, I was before work today, since I knew I would be doing art on stream, I just decided to play more Monster Hunter. But I did beat up a good few more Devil Joes, because I decided to get their swaps. If you were there last night, you might remember I looked at it, and I was like, well, I can't get it right now. So I went off and I got it. So, pretty happy with that. I might just do the same. I might kind of be repeating what I did today tomorrow, because I thought it was fine. You know? Just knowing that I'll be doing art tonight, so I can chill out with Monster Hunter in the daytimes. That's why I've said to many people in real life at this point, and I don't know if I've said it on stream, but typically why I like morning shifts a lot, because it's a good way to get me going. Having the responsibility of a job incentivizes me to get up and kind of get into a working mood earlier in the day than I probably would if it was just my own stuff. So at this point, at least for this week and what have you, I've more so just been doing, like, when I get home, I will do things after work, and I'll just kind of hang out before work. Not worry too much. So that's been me. I am actively looking to change that schedule for my own personal work and for social life, you know. Working a later shift can sometimes mean you miss out on things, because everyone else in the world is just like, well, I work a 9 to 5, and I'm like, I've never had a 9 to 5. I don't believe you. I have to send something to Deja real quick. I have to send Deja the "Don't trust your brain after 9 o'clock" meme. There you go. Never trust how you feel about your life after 9 p.m. I mean, I think I've talked about this before, and I forget if someone on stream was saying something about it, but no, I was talking about it in Discord, about the Sonic meme where it's like, never trust how you feel about your life after 9 p.m. And someone's like, but I live a lot after 9 p.m. And it's like, I think the general idea is like, don't trust how you feel after you've gone through an entire day's worth of what have you, you know? Like you're worn down, you're tired, you're exhausted to a degree. Don't trust your brain's judgment on your life at that point. That would be a wild mistake. I want to see if I can soften this a good amount. Let's soften it up here, and then as it kind of comes down, that'll look good. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I have to redraw the line at the upper edge, but that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be working on the cover of this for a bit. If not, just working on every page of this little project here a bit. Even though I haven't put a lot of pen to paper on this idea of mine, in terms of art, I have been doing plot stuff, or penning things, what have you. You know, my grandpa was over the other day. Well, I'm dog sitting, but the other night, my grandpa came to my mom's place for dinner. And so she was like, "Come have dinner with us," and I was like, "Okay." It's my day off, but fine. Oh no, I did not mean to rotate. And he was actually asking about my comics, so I showed him some, and he liked them. But I've been hiding stuff in comics, which some people might know, some may not. And I was showing him some of the more behind-the-scenes stuff. He was like, that's a little above me. And I'd be like, that's kind of like, that's a big thing right now. In the past decade or so, people have really enjoyed other creators hiding stuff in there. Maybe more children-oriented media. I'm not about to say what I'm. The Wallop Bros are purely children's entertainment for many reasons, but you know. They are definitely not like a artsy film. The Wallop Brother comics aren't, you know, painting on wood I've been doing. So they're definitely meant to elicit the vibes and charm of older comic strips, and thus, you know, I'm not quoting Shakespeare in them. I'm not even about to be like, those comics weren't smart or, you know, or well written, because I don't believe that at all. But I know they weren't, you know, they weren't by typical standards considered art. So, high art rather. But I like how manga and comic strips look, so that's what I'm going for. Listen, I like some paintings, but I'd be lying if I said a random oil painting in a museum got my brain going the way some comics do. And I don't even mean that in how some comics are like shock value for entertainment's sake. I mean, just like the charm I'll find in different black and white manga and comic strips. So I'm gonna keep going for that aesthetic and see if I can really make some good looking images with it on top of trying to tell a story. So that's my goal, you know, personally. I love how, speaking of comics and stuff, the Wallop Brothers design is inherently, the design of my other two characters is inherently born out of the very old idea, which you could say in both terms of it might be a little outdated at this point, as well as it originates from a time long past, but the idea that your cartoon character should be simple to draw and what have you, so that way as animators are working on the show and have to kind of make many an image of a character, they can do so quickly and seamlessly. But then Fossil Boy, even in his simpler design, I still have him. His chest is a whole rib cage, so I do on, and his head is a T-Rex skull, which even when it's simplified is still pretty accurate to typical T-Rex things. So, also Kingfisher, that's a good question. I wouldn't mind hosting a watch party in the Discord of the Pirates trilogy, but heck, just trying to organize that between friends. I mean, I guess friends are almost harder to, because you're trying to get many individual people to show up to it, whereas a watch party is just like, I'm doing it. If anyone shows up, you're welcome to it. But it's happening and it will not be stopped. Unless, I guess, specifically I can't show up. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should make that a, is that illegal? Is it with the knowledge that I'm talking about, the Pirates trilogy, is it illegal to make that a stream reward? It's probably illegal. I'll probably be like, no, don't go redistributing our films. We said it right there on the FBI thing. You wouldn't download a car, would you? Joke's on them. I would download a car. So I would like to host a watch party at some point. I don't know. We'll see. Heck, I like talking about pirates well enough. Oh my lord. The Mac, my computer, triggering a very useless mechanic, which immediately made my entire screen look crazy. Anyway. I almost wish I could do one of those things, because like podcasts and what have you will do this, where they'll want to do commentary on a movie, but both for legal reasons and because of how podcast works. You know, they can't just upload the movie with their commentary. So they'll just have it be like, okay, start the movie on this specific mark, and then you'll get our timing specific category as the movie plays out. But I mean, like, I don't think that's as worth doing in a Discord call, you know? Like, at that point, I might as well just tell you to go watch the movie and get back to me on what you think. Which is, like, I mean, I guess, but I contributed a minimal amount there. But yeah. Honestly, I remember I saw someone doing like public domain films, which are, you know, all silent films from the 20s, but still public domain shorts and what have you, as a movie night on Twitch itself, which I thought was neat, and frankly, I would not mind doing something like that, especially since, you know, heck, my whole aesthetic is black and white films. But like, maybe that should almost definitely be a monthly reward, just because I feel like I'd end up having to put together a decently long playlist of stuff on top of doing research to make sure no part of it is copyrighted to the point that it would threaten my channel or the VOD. It's a tricky bitch to get around. And you know it is, because I don't typically use that term. It's a sticky wicket. Definitely a cool idea. I mean, heck, meanwhile, I'm still trying to figure out some game series I want to do. Talk about organizing all this. Meanwhile, it can barely get together a playthrough. One of the most simple and saturated types of content on the internet. I am a fool. I am a fool whose time is not his own and is bad at making schedules. I talked a lot about Paper Mario and stuff like that. The thing like that is with an RPG specifically, a game like that, I really would like to do them on the weekends when I could theoretically do a much longer stream. So that way, even though we might only play it once a week, we'd be getting through it at a much better kind of pace. But, you know, like I've been saying, wrenches have been thrown in those plans many a time at this point. So, I don't know. I keep saying I'll make a book and then I'll move into the middle of the woods. And I'm not ashamed to say it to many people, you know? Because at the end of the day, it's not like it's any necessarily one person's entire fault that I just want to cut contact with the world. It's like just how much I feel comes my way at certain points, just at random. That makes me feel that way. And I'm not, and very reasonably, I'm not expecting everyone in my life who may contact me to organize it so that they can space out their RSVPs for whatever works best for them, you know? I'm the common denominator here. Thus, I'm the thing that needs to go into the woods. Hello, Ginger. Hello, pup I'm sitting. Pup whose name is Ginger. Yes. Kid named Finger. Important to note, Ginger is not named Finger. She is orangey dog. So she is named Ginger. And she's very good. She is a well-behaved pup. You're being good, right? Yes. Would you mind going to lay down? I mean, you can sit down here, I guess. I didn't expect you to sit down right next to my stream stuff, but, you know. I'm not working on art now. I'm petting the dog. Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? Listen, I'm doing my best to make streams work. while I'm away, you know. Still do some stuff that's fun and worth doing. It just might not be the normal stuff, and it might not be as big and grandiose because house sitting make you have responsibilities. Hi, Pig. How are you doing? You doing okay? I hope so. I have to make plans with Pig. You gotta get back to Dokapon. And one other thing. I'm almost positive Pig would prefer we just get back to Dokapon. But in the reality, mayhaps, there is a consensus of moving on. Then I still want to do things with Pig and Max, so. Oh my lord. Okay, well, okay. Mods, can we ban Pig? Pig is a mod. I love how you attacked me. At no point did I say, fucking, it's Pig's fault we didn't play Dokapon. Almost called it Pokemon. This month. At no point did I like, be aggressive with it. Or was I at all, you know, fucking rude. I was very gently like, oh yeah, we gotta schedule that to make sure we do it. Fuck it, I won't show up to Dokapon this month either. If this is the energy Pig is gonna bring to me whenever other stuff happens. Yeah, and then I was and then I got my break because I wasn't able to do many streams this month. And now I'm ready to get back to Dokapon. So like, dang. This is the energy we're bringing to the studio today. The next time I don't make Dokapon, I'll just make sure to walk straight off a bridge. We played up, Paula. I mean, could I play it more? Yes. But we did play it together at one point with Tria. I forget who else was there. There was someone else, and I'm not trying to be rude. But I remember it was Tria's stream specifically. I was there, Paula was there, other. But yeah, I haven't had much time for that either. I apologize. Mint. Oh, you're right. I apologize, Mint. I forgot you were there. It was a good time. I just don't end up planning a lot of played up specifically. Apologies. That's something you can't. There's probably not just a played up dish that's just cheese on a plate, is there? I would like there to be. I think that would be great. That would be the only thing served at my plate up restaurant. But I imagine they're trying to make it look, you know, I like to get silly with some of the dishes, but not that silly. Oh my goodness. Honestly, I just like doing art, you know? I've thought about this. I was talking about Fallout with some folks just the other day. And I mean, this isn't the first time I thought about this, but Fallout definitely makes me think about it. Where it's like, in an apocalypse situation, would I feel the need to still do like art and what have you? Because to a degree in my modern life, I feel like a need to do art comes from a want to be productive and make something. Would I feel that in an apocalypse? I think the answer is I would probably still end up doing art, if in any case just to maybe try and make something that remains in what's left of the world, as well as just, you know, to pass the time. But what was I thinking of? But it definitely wouldn't be as frequent, both because I'd probably need to be focusing on survival, and because, you know, I'm not going to be showing it to a lot of people. I don't know how fast I make art just for the sake of pleasing myself, but it's definitely not very fast. Or maybe it is fast, because, you know, I don't have to worry about... there's a degree of just like, well, no one else is going to see this. So even if it's not perfect, I'm happy with it. You know? Do y'all think I could still be, I'm trying to think of a good way to phrase this. But do you think I'd still, I mean, I guess I should ask you guys. Like, would a lot of y'all come around if I was doing like purely just art most of the time? Like 90% of streams were just art streams for me, and a highly less gameplay. I'm probably not gonna do that. I like playing games on stream, but I mean, the thoughts occurred to me a couple times. Just like, fucking, I don't like dealing with games much. Sometimes games aren't worth the hassle on stream, you know? Sometimes I don't want to worry about game setup and goals and execution and gameplay while streaming. Sometimes I want to doodle instead. Doodling good. Also, dog has requested more butt pats, so we give dog more butt pats. She is sniffing a candle on the table that is just big enough for her to get to. Like I said, she's a very polite dog, so there's quite a few things set up in this house that are her height, but she doesn't mess with, because she's just so good. Okay, go lay down. Go lay down. Yeah, go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay. You see where I'm pointing? Your bed. Go lay down in your bed. I would go lay down in bed if I could, Ginger. But I had work, and now I'm trying to... you guys can probably hear her playing with a bone in the background. I had work, and now I gotta try and stream after, because I like streaming. And it's not necessarily a commitment I feel contractually obligated to do. But it is like, in order to do it, I have to make sure I make time for it. Which in this case occurs after work. I love over-explaining my actions to a dog. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think about it a good deal. I don't want to say recently. I think I've thought about this a lot throughout my life. About the idea of just like I think the best way I could feel the most optimal way for me to feel my best would be to remove myself from just most people, many social situations, to be largely isolated for long, indefinite stretches of time. And sometimes I'm like, is that an unhealthy coping mechanism? Or is it me kind of just being honest with myself and saying, hey, more often than not, whether or not I know what to do or hopelessly stranded in an awkward social interaction, I am at my most comfortable when I'm alone. So I should just structure life in that way, you know? Maybe I should go see a psychologist about it. That's always the rough thing. Worst thing about the medical system. No. There's lots of stuff I'd love to just be like, oh, I'd love to get this checked out and this to try and improve myself, to make sure I know what's really happening with my brain and be conscious about things I'm doing and saying and thinking, and understand myself better. I was gonna color his shirt black. Maybe I still should. Let's check some of our references. No, that's a technology reference. Cause like we could do, so you can see Gutsman back here. We could do mostly black and then kind of erase sections of it to make sure we can add a dark blue in there. Heck, that's what they did with Spider-Man in the original comics. And they just slowly turn more blue. Also, I love the stark contrast between painterly high fantasy art and Pokemon. Don't worry about it. Listen, we have fun here. But yeah, I don't know. I hope y'all are having fun out there, just in general. You know, I would definitely hope if you're hanging out and stream, you're enjoying stream. I would say having fun, but heck, that's not even what I go to streams for. You know, I'm just like, this is good to have on, to maybe get some laughs out of when that good clippable moment happens, and furthermore, to just kind of have something going in, something, a pleasant guffaw in the background. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying stream, and I hope you're just having fun in general with life and what have you. You know, getting out there, doing stuff, having the fun you can while doing it. Not everything's necessarily designed for fun specifically, but you can still have fun with lots of things. I don't know if I really even... I would definitely say I have fun with games a lot, but I don't know if I'm necessarily ever even playing them consciously for fun, you know? I think more often what I'm doing is, like, they're the most, like, stimulating thing I can kind of get my hands on, in terms of, like, a way to spend some time, maybe experiencing something, somewhat meaningful as I do so. like a good amount of video games are a good way to do to kill those two birds with one stone. um, so I'm trying to think. Honestly, the thing I would attribute fun the most to is probably hanging out in Discord with friends and maybe playing games, but just in general. Uh, just shit talking. So that's the biggest thing of that I can primarily describe as fun. I think the other stuff I've taught, the other kind of media I've mentioned, I can like simplify down to being fun. But if I were to get more descriptive, fun would be more and more in the background as I talk about it. I'm gonna look up like old superhero outfits. Maybe I should look up Golden Age, rather. Just to make sure we don't get murdered. Okay, I'm gonna look up Golden Age. Not all of... Finding reference can be hard sometimes. Laura, especially with AI. It was not too long ago where I realized for the first time, it's like, I'm trying to look at something, and half these results are AI generated. Which, like, legitimately, I've heard some artists say they use it for, like just kind of getting the general idea of a drawing, and that's fine, you know, because at that point, I think it's probably being used for, like, what it can best be used for, which is just getting the general gist of images that you somewhat kind of are familiar with. But for actual straight up reference, I think AI is awful. Because when you zoom in to look at details, like the thing you would want reference for, AI inherently is not doing a good job at it. Because it's literally just like recreating the pixels more than anything. It's just making a mosaic out of samples of other pictures. So the details are all squishy. So trying to get a good look at them, it's like, At least when I like, heck, with like these, like these are paintings, right? So inherently they themselves are kind of just like blobs, put together in the shape of an image. But even then, I can probably glean more information by zooming in a bit to look at the technique used. Like right here, you can be like, okay, so to draw this ear, there's this bigger dark shape right here, and then to suggest the head, faint line there. An AI recreation of that would be more of a mess of colors. My family has asked me about work. Well, it was okay. I'm doing good. Pop, pop, pop. Hello? Oh my goodness. Pig is very cool. I would just like to say, looking in a Discord, I was like, oh, that's neat. Pig is neato. Everyone shout out to Pig. It's weird, because like, man, it's weird to think about how Twitch has changed, because now there's a shout out command, right? But when I started streaming, and like, it was at a time where Pig might drop by for more of the stream, which is, by the way, that's not a dig at him. It is me literally saying it's like I stream at a bad time. But there wasn't like an built-in shout-out command, so I just have a command left over from those days that is that is meant to direct you to Pig's channel. Because again, back then there wasn't a inherent default Twitch thing to get you there. It's weird how I haven't even necessarily been streaming that long. Is that the wrong Pig? Oh my, Pig fully spelt out Mr. Okay, let me do this. Shout out. Oh wait, I can also at because he was in chat. There we go. He was playing Helldivers. I like Pig and I like Helldivers, so y'all should go see it. Like, he has a VOD channel too. Make sure to check that out. Hop, hop, hop. I can't believe Pig decided to go with the full spelling of Mr. I can't believe I never noticed that before. That's a Mandela effect right there. Well, I was also about to default to his old username that had proper, like, spacing between everything with underscores. So, even more so there. That would have been wrong. It was misled. I want to paint it black. I always think, I like doing black in a lot of pictures. I know there's one song has the lyrics like, I want to paint it black. I don't know what fucking song that is. I'm so prone to singing songs that I know. What do I do when I don't know the lyrics to one of them? Dang it, I'm dumb. Paint It Black. Is that literally just the name of the song? Or are you saying that's what I should do when I don't know the lyrics to a song? Well, you should paint it black, Cahill. By the Rolling Stones. Damn it! I'm even dumber than I had originally thought. Not only was it so easily searchable, I was thinking of, like, the title itself. It's not even the fucking prominent, it's not even like the chorus of the song, it's just the name of the song. I'm dumb. As DMing Juice before stream, actually, about science questions. Because I was like, I could try Googling this, but the problem with that is I will Google something and like it'll give me an answer that is real science, but then I will apply that science wrong because I'm just using it out of context altogether, because that's what Google doesn't, it doesn't provide context. It just provides the best like match to the direct query you gave it. So I was like, let me see if a friend can actually help me clear this up. And I was literally like, I'm accounting for me being dumb. To be so clear, that is what's happening. I am aware I might get this wrong if I were to be let loose and try and research it on my own with no human help. So I have come seeking assistance from people. See, that's what I'm talking about, right? It's not necessarily like cut contact with all people. That is my desire. It's like, just until I'm ready. Paint it, comma, black. I use comma. People fucking... whenever people are hanging out with me and I'm spelling something, and you're like, Cahill, that cannot possibly be an incredibly common scenario. It is it's a decent enough scenario that I'm talking about it now. But what was I thinking of? Where they're like, you've used too many commas. And I'm like, have I? And then, on a technical level at least, I have in fact used the correct amount of commas. Where I have put commas is where commas should be. It's just that people are used to just letting their sentence ramble on. So they're just like, that's too many commas. I'm like, no, it's not. This is how commas are meant to be used, to indicate like pauses in a sentence, lists, kind of interjections, what have you, etc. And that is what every comma I put here represents. I know my commas. English language is fun. You know, people complain about it a lot because it can be real stupid at times. But I can imagine, Paula, and relate. I hope you have a good bed. Good night. What was I thinking of? I don't know, something about commas. Oh yeah, people complain about the English language, but you know, doesn't the chaos of it all make it a little fun? Isn't that what we're all kind of here for? Anyway. Like, every now and then, you get some funny things you can do with English. So, hate it all you want, but she really is that bitch. I love when people will point out in fantasy situations how it's like, oh, they're all speaking English, isn't that funny? And it's like, you're right, but similarly, like, the in-universe explanation, which, like, my first go-to is Star Wars with this. The in-universe explanation is, what we are hearing is the most common language in the universe, the one that most species know how to speak. And to us right now, it sounds like English. That it's not necessarily English, but it's going to sound like that to us right now because we are English speaking. And or what, you know, and or any other dub the movie has. Like, I know most of the times it's jokes, but I want to point out, like, I guess you could do a Lord of the Rings movie entirely in Elvish and have to subtitle the whole thing, as well as help any of the actors who don't already maybe know Elvish. And I'm saying Elvish here, not Elvish. I don't know Elvis Presley. Help them learn it so they can say their lines, but it just like in anime where it takes place in Japan and they would naturally be speaking Japanese, and the original they're speaking Japanese. It just makes more sense that when an English speaker is watching it, that they listen to the English audio. Again, granted, you can have different dubs in different languages, but for pure fantasy situations, it would be really dumb to be like, nope, we're gonna make an entirely new fantasy language, and the entire movie is gonna sound like that. Usually I hear about accessibility in games. I can't imagine the conversation around like accessibility in a movie. When it's just like, on top of any other problem someone might have in being able to watch this movie, it is also in a language no one natively speaks. I would love to see the general articles and what have you on it, but I guarantee it will cause a kerfuffle. It won't be as easy as just having it as English. And then everyone just kind of, like, they're like, haha, they're not speaking English. I mean, they're not speaking fantasy language, but you can understand it. I could just, I'm saying English when I mean whatever native language any given human watching any given movie speaks. Fantasy movie. But I don't know. I'm trying to shorthand it a bit because I'm a native English speaker, and I feel like typically the thing is like they're speaking English. Isn't that so Americocentric? And it's like, yeah, but also. I think there's a couple. Like, I think technically in Zelda, people don't speak English. They speak Hylian, which is a different language. But both in voice acting and in text, they switch it to an actual real-life language. Because why wouldn't they? Because it would be much harder to sell a Zelda game if on top of all other mechanics you have to translate Hylian. That's Final Fantasy X, or Chants of Sonar, which is, again, go check out Pig, he played that. He did some Chants of Sonar streams, and I didn't, because, again, I'm dumb. I don't need a game to help me figure it out. I'll know how dumb I am just fine, thank you. I should actually be... There we go. Love us some metallic madness around here. I adore this song. I was talking about Fallout before. I was actually watching a friend stream it in Discord. They got a radio station. They're playing Fallout 4, and there's a radio station in there. And it's the guy hosting the radio station is not very good at being a radio host. I feel a little bad for him. I relate to him a little bit. Oh, Lord. Ooh. I kind of wish. I'll just say this outright. I kind of wish I could ask if I've been a bad streamer, like, you know, in recent execution, without people being like, no, Cahill, you're fine. Like, I appreciate it, but also, you know, I just hope mayhaps if I'm on some bullshit, someone lets me know. Someone's like, Cahill, you've got bullshit, fix it. I'm like, oh, you're right. I didn't even notice my bullshit over there. Chemical Plant is a good track too. I think a lot of people at this point know Snapcube, not just because I've mentioned them on stream, rather the opposite, because, you know, they did the Sonic fan dub. That's what a lot of people mostly know Snapcube for. But on a different, on just a straight up Let's Play, they were playing. They had Dearest Alfred Coleman, Paper Box House, who does Eggman. And he mentioned Chemical Plant Zone. He called it Stank Ass Toilet Zone because he did not like, you know, the vats of chemicals and drowning, which is understandable. But I still like Chemical Plant. I forget where I saw it, but I remember someone breaking down what makes, like, Chemical Plant being good, in part because its design has like the tubes you run along, which are purely for speed and kind of, you know, like that's just speed and direction you're dealing with on the tube parts. And then when the tubes stop, you know it's more of a take your time, be careful platforming moment. Hello, puppy. Are you doing good? Do you like stream? You probably don't. Puppy probably doesn't like stream because she's like, no, I'd like attention all the time forever. I'd like someone to always be petting me, cuddling me. And it's like, I know. I wish I had a second Cahill here. Could trade off turns and giving you love. Do you think dogs can, like, tell twins apart? Like, if there are two identical twins who are frequently dressing similarly, which they already know what they're doing, but stay with me here. Do you think dogs can tell them apart with, like, sensing and hearing and what have you? Or do you think, like, they're just like, no, that person is far too similar? Because dogs don't know names. So, I'm, like, that's what most people typically use to help distinguish wildly identical twins. So, I can only imagine how hard it is for a little pup to be able to tell. Poor puppy. Oh my goodness. What? I tried to start drawing again, and she licked the underside of my arm, being like, no, wait, give me love. Should my stream just be an hour of me petting this dog? Like, that's what I should have done. I should have bought a webcam before I came here, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do streams here. I'll stream me petting this dog. I wouldn't do that. Because then, one, I would want to ask the owner's permission first, and I don't even want to begin to put them in that situation. Wild take. I think it would be neat if, when you see a video of your house and a pet on the internet, you're the one who uploaded it. I would not like to be the person who causes them a small panic attack seeing a strange video of their house. That'd be so wild. The internet is a wild place. It's hard. I wonder if more people consider the internet, like, more or less wild than it was in its early days. I feel like it's kind of like a bit of column A, a bit of column B, you know? Like, definitely in some ways, it's not as easy to find wild stuff as it were, as it was back when like YouTube first was popping off and what have you. There's not as many just completely insane YouTube videos being uploaded because they're just like, no, we should probably, you know, make sure someone's monitoring this for so many reasons. So like that part's less wild, but to a degree, it almost feels like people are more insane. Are people more insane, or were they always this insane? We just didn't know until we had the internet. It's so hard to tell. I wonder if you could, this is going to be a crazy thought, but you just stay with me for a minute. If you could collect enough, like, journals, super private journals from a far off, long ago time period, I wonder if you, like, kind of put them together and what have you, if you could create some semblance of the internet. It might lose part of it just because since those people weren't able to communicate with each other on those subjects and kind of feed into each other like so many online communities do. like that part's lost, but I think it's kind of interesting to be like, if you were to many years ago kind of just gather people's personal inner thoughts and just personal inner thoughts and intrusive thoughts, when the intrusive thoughts win, if that would basically recreate the internet quickly. Or not. It's hard to say. You know, I started off with those two black lines in the middle, and then they are like the part I'm like, no, get rid of those. The rest of that pauldron looks pretty good, but not those first two lines. Oh my goodness. I knew a dude in high school who watched like ear cleaning videos in class. So you could, and like, this was in my high school. You know, I'm not gonna say that because that might give too much information on me. But I had a class with him a lot, and there was computers in the class, and I would often see, and he would often be watching these ear cleaning videos. And I'm not necessarily disgusted by them, but like, maybe I'm not as happy that he alerted me to their existence. You know, I don't even know if I knew pimple popping videos back then, but I almost certainly did after I saw ear cleaning videos. So with that in mind, I blame him. I mean, honestly, the worst part about that is doing it in public. You know, it's like, of all things, of all, I don't even want to say it's a guilty pleasure necessarily. That's giving gross internet videos, gross but like guideline friendly internet videos too much credit. I would more so just say it's like, you know, it literally kind of scratches an itch. I assume is more the purpose. But like, not in front of me and my, in front of me and my salad. We're gonna be giving him like pixie short. We're gonna give in this cover, completely unrepresentative of the actual story. We're giving Fossil Boy some Robin pixie shorts. I adore modern, and like, it's the correct move. I'm not gonna say they should change it, but I love how much modern day DC will like flash back to Dick Grayson as the first Robin and just put him in full pants. Like, just so wildly like, nope, just making sure he is as in pants as possible. You know what, actually, before we continue with this, I'm looking up Robin's first appearance. Robin first appearance. Here we go. You know, these, I mean, like, these are shorts, basically. It's kind of weird. I'll say it. Obviously, someone in real life wearing shorts would be not as great. But I almost feel like the way he's drawn in Golden Age Batman, like, it's drawing no attention to him, you know? Like, yeah, he's wearing shorts, but it's just like, yeah, that's his outfit. Move on. And then every media since then has had to point it out and make a fuss. And again, let Robin wear pants. For sure, absolutely, 100%. but that it's weird looking back at it and being like it wasn't really like they were just kind of shorts. Shorts, yes, but they were still just shorts. I like how a good amount of this isn't just Dick Grayson. It's what's it called? It's Tim Drake. And honestly, I feel like Tim Drake is always the definitive Robin in my eyes. Tim Drake is the Robin who like most loves being Robin. DC Heroes United. I've heard about that. DC Heroes United. Action figures. These action figures, or is it a game? Interactive series. I don't know what I'm looking at. Oh, it's a board game. Okay. And should I look up Robin now? Or did you just want me to look at the board game? No, yeah, it's not Robin. It's neat. I remember getting... Not up yet. Gotcha. I feel like I had seen something about that. I feel like I remember seeing something about that. I wanted to add something different to that. I just kind of said the same thing 3 times. Maybe I should get sleep. You know, I remember being excited a long time ago for the what's it called? The Dark Souls board game. But I mean, not only have I not gotten it since it came out, and I did see it and it looked cool, like legitimately. It wasn't a thing of like, I'm disappointed. No, I would play it if I had it. But not only have I not gotten it, I don't have anyone to play it with. I have one person in real life in like reasonable driving distance. And we don't play board games together. In part because it's already hard enough to organize hanging out, let alone being like, and then specific activity. Yeah, Kingfisher, when Robin comes out, post the design. We'll see what they do with the pants situation. But yeah, I don't know. And some people might be like, well, Tabletop Simulator. I don't really like Tabletop Simulator, I'm gonna be real. Don't get me wrong, if someone's like, Cahill, would you like to play Tabletop Simulator? I would be like, sure. If it's a game I want to play, if it's like a board game, I'd be down to play. And schedule's all clear for it, then yes, that's fine. But as like replacement for other games, no. Activity to do with friends, sure. Playing in Tabletop Simulator as a replacement for like this, that, or the other thing, whatever board game, playing the board game in real life or what have you, Okay, let me paint it for you guys. If you said, Cahill, want to play this board game? It's in Tabletop Simulator. I'd probably be like, Is there like an official digital version, or is it only in Tabletop Simulator? If you said, Cahill, let's hang out, we can play Tabletop Simulator, I'd be like, okay. You get the kind of difference there? If the purpose is to hang out, I'm down for tabletop. If the purpose is to play that specific game, I'll start looking at alternatives. I'm sorry, Tabletop Simulator. You know what the ironic problem I have with the Tabletop Simulator is? Is the tabletop. Now, give me a second. It's just, I don't like the degree of separation, you know? Like, it's a neat gimmick. But I'd prefer just a cleaner UI more often than not. So with that in mind, that's why I'll typically flock to like some kind of like official release of the like digital version of a game, like Uno. Even though digital Uno not necessarily the best. Ubisoft do better. What was I thinking of? Yeah. I think for me, it's something about like how all the pieces can go flying and what have you. We're just like, no, everything, just stay in place. I mean, I believe there's like like different games will have different. Also, I love how I have the reference up when I don't need it. I mean, I believe I was using the Mega Man reference, but still, I don't need that now. And now Bulbasaur is just behind me. What was I just thinking of? I know some games, like, you can snap stuff into place, yada, yada, yada. But still. There's a tension to Tabletop Simulator where it's like, man, I hope the entire board doesn't get flung into the air. That... a background anxiety about that scenario specifically. That just isn't present in other versions of tabletop games, you know? Heck, the digital version of Monopoly, even though, again, boo Ubisoft. Like, your dice can still knock over your piece. Kingfisher, if we get spoiler, I'll be in love. Because we do appreciate a spoiler around here. Am I a bigger Cassie fan? Absolutely. But spoiler deserves more respect. Anyway, at least in digital Monopoly, you can still like knock your pieces over with the dice. But A, it doesn't wreck the board. And B, it fixes it as the turn continues. Which is just nice. Kingfisher, if they do have a miniature for Cassie Kane, you be sure to slide that across my desk immediately. Because we appreciate Stephanie Brown, aka Spoiler, around here. But I fucking adore Cassie Kane. I believe I've said so on stream many a time. She's neat. I like her. So a little miniature of her for a board game. Love it. Do I love Terry McGinnis, Jason Todd, and Cassandra Cain? Yes. Do they need to stop making so much Batman content? Also, yes. You know who else I like? Clark Kent. And I mean, we got My Adventures with Superman, but fucking compare that to like several Batman movies. Man, I think I've talked about this on stream before, but part of the marketing for Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League being that it takes place in the Arkham universe, when A, people love Arkham Batman and they don't want to see him get beat up, and B, people love the rest of the Justice League and would love a game starring them, and thus probably don't want them to be killed off in this world the moment they are introduced. And yet that was the marketing, like that in no way did that game have to be related to the Arkham series at all. If they wanted to continue the Arkham series, that'd be fine. There were, but literally no reason for that to be the game to do it. I literally can't imagine. I can't imagine the reasoning behind it. Just the most insane possible reasoning behind, like actually an insane person thought it was a good idea. And to be clear, this is not a judgment on the game or what have you, or if you enjoy it. It's just purely like looking at it from a marketing standpoint, where I'm just like, that was maybe the dumbest thing you could have done. For a list of reasons. And you didn't even have to, development didn't even have to start on the game for me to start listing those reasons. Like, it was dumb before development even started, so. We do love Terry McGinnis. Terry McGinnis is so much, like, when I say I like Batman, I'm mostly just talking about Terry McGinnis. I infinitely enjoy his adventures more than Bruce Wayne's. Both because he still kind of has, you know, old Brucey in his ear, giving him advice from the old days, and still kind of being, I would argue, the devil on his shoulder for any paranoia he might still harbor, and wants to make sure Terry's being cautious with. But then Terry, who is infinitely more likable. And a cooler design and more bat-themed like abilities and gadgets, honestly. Rocket wings are much better than Cape. Terry McGinnis is the better Batman, and I'm tired of pretending otherwise. I mean, it's helped by the fact that, you know, he has been grossly mischaracterized several times in different series and media, but it is easier to call Terry my favorite Batman because there's fewer versions of him and I like more of them. Percent number go up, you know. So also, honestly, whenever someone mentions like cyberpunk, the fucking aesthetic, not the game, I'm always thinking about Batman Beyond far more than CD Projekt Red or Akira. Like, Batman Beyond, for several reasons, is such a good intro to cyberpunk, and I didn't even know it when I was a kid, because I was a kid, that it's really astonishing. Yes, Miss Ginger. Hello. Hello. Like, fucking... Because Gotham in Batman Beyond is, like, still not a very nice place. And it has these towering technological skyscrapers. And yet, like, if anything, rather than making it a nicer place, it just kind of gives more darker corners for bad stuff to be happening in, you know? Like, I think in canon, technically, Gotham is doing better than it was during Batman's heyday, you know? The legacy of the Batman has helped, but there's still crime, which is what Terry discovers in, like, episode 1. Why he becomes the Batman. But yeah. I just think aesthetically, Batman Beyond is cyberpunk in some of its best, most pure form. You know? Because the towers are bright and cool and sci-fi, but man, things aren't going well. Like, like, a lot of villains die in Batman Beyond. Because, like, you know... just as a consequence of the powers they got and accidents they were in to warrant getting powers. Okay. I want to call this out here specifically. Let me turn off sketch real quick. Because I gave Fossil Boy 5 fingers here, right? He's a robot, And typically, I only give him 4. And you can see on this hand, he only has 4 fingers. I'm tempted to leave it that way as a little artsy whoopsie-daisy. That would be common on like game covers and manuals of the 80s. I think we might roll with that, honestly. You know how in like Gravity Falls, it's important that the author of the journal, like one of the biggest details we know about him from early on, is that he has 6 fingers. Fucking, how hard do you think it is to convince people early on in the pitch of like something like that when they're like, oh, it has 6 fingers? They're like, no, that's on purpose. And they're like, uh-huh. Fucking amateur. So quickly are that. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I knew what I was doing here, and when I came over to this hand, I was like, should I give him a pinky? I mean, we can, let's see. Because a pinky would be over here. No, that looks bad. I mean, I guess what I would be doing. Here's the thing. I'm tempted to do 4 fingers for the bit. But, given the kind of certain, like, cover art I'm referencing, which is kind of more well-made than other ones, I think it would probably be better for me to do a good art job and draw 5 fingers on the hand like people have them. Even though when you look at other art of this character, he will have 4 fingers. Honestly, you know what? Fuck it. You know what the easiest solution to this is going to be? Because I like how that hand is drawn. We erase his pinky. I'm done with the bit. This character has 4 fingers. I know he has 4 fingers. I've designed him with 4 fingers. We're not doing this. Also, I should not be drawing that part of the hand, because I need to draw him holding a ray gun. That's another thing. That's another purposeful whoopsie-daisy here. Because because Fossil Boy doesn't have a ray gun. He shoots lasers from his hands. He's got some Dragon Ball Z Ki Blast going on. You know how it is. We love Dragon Ball Z Ki Blast around here. Yeah, that hand is the embodiment of good enough. Because it's kind of accurate to what that would look like at that angle in real life, but it is also kind of ugly. And I know for a fact that if there was someone drawing this for an 80s game, it would look kind of ugly. Be like, that is a hand, and from far away it looks good. The more oh my lord, the more I zoom in on it, the more I'm like, the hand. And question mark? It's my favorite kind of appendage. Is the one where it says question mark. Hi, Juice. How you doing? You about to go to sleep? I'm definitely probably going to sleep soon. Sleep is good, is the thing. I'm glad. Well, you know what, Juice, since you were just saying, because I was like, maybe we cut stream a bit early, especially since, you know, I'm dog sitting, what have you. And I was like, well, Juice just got here, but since you said EP, we raid, knowing Juice got to come in and say hello. No, I love you. I hope you have a good night, Juice. You're a great friend. Okay. I'm going to end stream, in part to sleep, and in part so I can go make sure that dog goes out to the bathroom before I go to bed. So that way, I'm doing a good dog watching job. Doesn't look too bad so far. The gloves look weird because they're not really shaded at all in contrast to the rest of the body. But I do plan them to be like paint. Like this whole thing is going to be color, and I want that to be like a bright red. Because that's kind of the character's prevalent color, is his primary color. So it would be making it like a bright rubbery red would, I think, be best idea. Okay. You know what? Wait. I'm going to see. How long has Big been streaming? Can we raid Big to make up for last night when I ended stream? You know what? Big might be ending soon, but we're gonna raid Big purely because he raided us last night, and we just after we ended stream. So small apologies to Big. If you'd like to send him some messages before also maybe heading out to bed, make sure to use that apologies emote. Oh yeah, thanks everyone for coming by. I actually think we got a good amount of work done on this. Like it's not like, obviously I'm not filling up the page, but hey, not only is this image I'm drawing right here not supposed to fill up the page, it's like, you know, it is mostly supposed to be focused on Fossil Boy there. We made some good progress. So yeah, appreciate you all for coming by. I'll see you later. Bye.